Pre-order your copy of our Football Game Plan Scouting 2020 Prospect Guide. Over 800 prospect profiles of both NFL draft prospects and some CFL draft prospects as well. These are guys that we talk about in the video. Now you get your opportunity to go behind the curtain and see our detailed scouting report for each and every player that we will break down in one of these prospect rankings videos. Again, go to our website and pre-order your copy today. Be sure to order your copy of the Go-Go Offense by Coach Brennan Marion on footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Coach Marion goes through the ins and outs of his explosive offense, one that's tearing up the college football field and putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. Again, you can order your copy at footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. And now that all of the film has been watched, the grades have been finalized, let's take a look at our 2020 NFL Draft prospect rankings. And today, we're going to take a look at the wide receivers. Henry Ruggs out of Alabama grades out as my #1 split end in this year's class. He has explosive speed, and if you let him get an easy release off the line of scrimmage, it's over. Get the extra point team ready. Ruggs is a game breaker that has really good footwork and plays a strong game. He's a day one impact player, in my opinion. At #2 is Isaiah Coulter from Rhode Island, who entered the draft early as a junior. And what impressed me the most about his game is his AJ Green-like athleticism. Coulter is a polished player, quite honestly. His routes are excellent, he's explosive, and he has the type of hands to make the catch in any situation. T. Higgins checks in at #3. He's listed at 6'4", but at times out there on the field, he looks like a 6'10" wide receiver the way he makes defenders look when the ball is in the air. He has tremendous athleticism and one of the largest catch radiuses in this draft class. He'll be an immediate red zone target the day he steps on the field. Antonio Gandy Golden's game out of Liberty reminds me a lot of Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. You don't really realize how fluid he moves until you see him live up close. AGG has a smoothness and a technical savvy to play inside or out at the next level, and you can tell that he puts a ton of work into his craft. And rounding out my top 5 is Colin Johnson out of Texas. I was very impressed with how easy he gets in and out of his breaks for such a tall receiver. He's another one of these guys that has great hands, that shows the ability to sacrifice for the catch. Those type of receivers will always grade out high for me. Now here's the rest of my top 10, and you see Coulter's teammate Aaron Parker makes it here as well. I swear they had a trio of talented wideouts up there in Kingston, Rhode Island this season. And I like the game of both LaMichael Petway out of Iowa State and Isaiah Hodgins out of Oregon State. They played their size, which is a great thing. And the technique and consistency of Austin Mack's game out of Ohio State was just too much to ignore. I think he's going to be a much better pro than he was in college. I just love watching Denzel Mims out of Baylor play the position. He goes up and snatches the football out of the air like it's personal to him, and you like that type of attitude at receiver because you're going to have to make those type of catches at the NFL level. I thought he had a sensational week down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. You look at the rest of 11 through 20, and there are some of those type of guys here on this list. Christian Wilkerson out of Southeast Missouri State was a tremendous talent, made those type of catches that I talked about when you're talking about Mims. Michael Darius was a guy that was underutilized at Georgetown, but has that type of game. Jeff Cotton, I think, fits the mold of what you like in your split in, a big physical receiver that can run those short to intermediate routes very well. There are two guys out here on this list that I want to go in a little bit more detail about. Jelani AJ Green, I thought was a star down at the FCS National Bowl in December. Talk about a guy that gave defensive back fits. He was that type of player, going up high and getting the football, has tremendous athleticism. Now, he started his career at New Hampshire, but transferred to New Haven and set a lot of records, really blossomed into a polished pro who also ran track in college as well. So he has that athleticism. And you also look at a player like Zamari Manning down there in Texas at Tarleton State. Now, this is a program that's in Division II, but they're moving up to FCS next season. But you talk about the damage they did in the Lone Star Conference. They had an outstanding season, both running the football and throwing the football. Manning has that dog mentality, a guy that goes up, it's my ball or it's no one else's ball. You like that about his game. Now, he doesn't have the explosive speed that you like, but he runs great routes. He knows how to stack defensive backs. And again, once the ball is in the air, he goes up and gets it like it's his ball and no one else's. I like that about his game. And rounding out my list of split ends with numbers 21 through 27, I like the way Malik Stanley plays the game. I was at the Marshall game and he was just as consistent can be. He's the type of guy that you see play 10 years in the NFL. But keep an eye on Stephen Newbold out of Tennessee State. Another very solid program that did a great job of producing talent, and he's another one of these players that can start on special teams initially and help you out in the return game and coverage units, but also has that ability to make great catches while also having the athleticism to make guys miss in the open field. That's a wrap here from footballgameplan.com. I'm Embry Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts, and don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Also, subscribe on iTunes to Football Game Plan Podcast, where you can find our Scout Team podcast, where we have a ton of player prospect interviews. Also on television, the Game Plus Network, every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have our Scout Team show. Check with your cable provider for channel listings.